Hello and welcome. I am Conan Librarian with Conan's EDC Easy Dad Carry, and today I'm going to be doing something I'm really excited about. I am doing a cheap gear dump. Full disclaimer, this is not a video about a bunch of stuff that'll save your life. This isn't for stuff hits the fan. This is simply cheap stuff that can be good for a bad situation or when you need a backup, and is overall just easy to put hands on, easy to sling around, and not heartbreaking if you lose it, abuse it, or break it. So I'm going to go through, there are a couple categories, and at the end of this, I'm going to cram it all in this $1 Dollar Tree backpack. I'll show how that kind of fits at the end. But yeah, I'm excited. Let's get started. So we're going to start with the most basic categories being fire, blade, first aid, and light. Yeah, I'm going to start with the blade first. So the first thing we're going to start with is one I'm actually really excited about because I've seen a lot about this. There's a lot of buzz. This is the Ozark Trail folding axiom lock pocket knife from Walmart. This thing was $6, and I mean, I'm a fan of good blades. I'm also a huge fan of budget. So while this would not be something that I would say rely on heavily in an emergency, a decent knife is always a good thing. A backup knife is better than no knife. So I've seen a lot on this. Ooh, this one is very stiff. That's kind of unfortunate. I've seen a lot of videos where people get these and there's a bit of quality control issue here, maybe, where it is sometimes good, sometimes bad out of the box. Yeah, this one, well, this might need to go back. That being said, for $5, the handle feels good. I like the blade geometry. I really wish this worked well. Maybe not a glowing review, but maybe next video I'll return this, pick up another one, and get another review on this. So that's disappointing, but for $5-6, it's a blade that locks, and it's yeah, it's a decent size. It's got a decent pocket clip, lanyard hole. So $5-6 blade, not a terrible thing to have. Up next, an outdoor survival kit. Now, some people might call this cheating, but that being said, I've reviewed a couple of these, and I think they're fun. I don't think there's anything wrong for picking something up that's cheap that might have some useful stuff in it. So we're gonna get through this real quick. I know I've done a couple and I've been pretty long-winded in the past. This thing I picked up for, I think it was $8, and it may have even been at like TJ Maxx. I don't even entirely remember where I got this. So first I'm gonna need something to cut this off, ironically. Alright, so on the back it says everything that's in here, and for $8, that's actually not terrible. Now, as far as quality goes, obviously it really depends, but the tin isn't worth anything as far as carrying. It's got this cheap plastic in the front. If I were actually to carry this, I'd probably replace it with something a little bit bigger. This is actually about the same size. This is the size of my main tin that I carry. If you're interested, check out my video I have for my actual EDC tin that I carry in my dad's sling bag. But inside is a little Vitrinox ripoff, but it's got a corkscrew, it's got a flathead. I mean, this isn't entirely terrible. We'll see. It's first time opening, see how it does. Well, that's a terrible blade, but you know what? It's better than nothing. It's something I can sharpen. So, cheap little pocket knife, little lanyard with a little bit of a little bit of I don't know if I would consider this actual 550. It feels like it might be, but having a little bit of line isn't a terrible thing. A little pocket saw. These things you can get, I mean, even by themselves, they're a couple bucks. So the fact that this is in here, I don't know about the quality. I don't know that I'd rely on this to fell a whole tree, but it's better than, I mean, trying to cut down a tree with a pocket knife. 10 giant safety pins. I'm not gonna lie, I like these giant safety pins, and they're solid. They feel really heavy duty, heavy gauge. Yeah, that's something I'd feel good using to secure something with. Last bit, little ferro rod and scraper. That's actually not too bad, and I'll tell you what, I probably don't want to do this right here. My desk, in front of my computer. You know what? I don't think I will. If you're interested, go online, see how these work. But the fact that it actually comes in here isn't too bad. I like the scraper. And a pair of tweezers. Well, that's not a terrible little pair of tweezers. Honestly, kind of an odd little mix, but for I think it was, like I said, $8. This really isn't too bad. So, yeah, cheesy little survival kit. Honestly, like I said, I've reviewed one or two of these before. If you could find one for a couple bucks, it's worth throwing in. If not, just for the extra little doodads, it's something to keep you busy when maybe otherwise you're just trying to keep yourself occupied. So, the unfortunately underperforming Ozark Trail, still a bummer there, and a cheap survival kit. Alright, what is next? Alright, fire and first aid. So this is a little dollar store kit. 12 items here, just some band-aids. It's a boo-boo kit. Doesn't really do anything besides patch up a little scrape you might get, which isn't a terrible thing. Doesn't take up any space really, and it's got this hard case, so if you want to store something that you don't necessarily want getting crushed. I prefer something, now in my regular actual hiking bag and around the house I have a full heavy duty first aid kit, but something like this was $8 from Walmart, and if you want to pause you can see everything on the back there that it has inside. But I'm gonna take the second, and if you've watched my other videos, you know I do this in almost all of them. I implore you, have a good first aid kit. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, have access to a good first aid kit. This isn't terrible. It's, again, it's not a trauma kit, but this has a lot of good stuff that's going to take care of you in a pinch. Some matches. These are strike on the box. The strike anywheres that you can get at most grocery stores are better, but these were $1. And a big old $1 bottle of hand sanitizer. Good to keep your hands clean, especially in a first aid situation. And also as a fire starter. Obviously, you pour some of this. This is a great way to start a fire when otherwise you might be having trouble. And a lighter. Never go anywhere without a lighter if there might be an emergency situation. Matches are great. Alcohol burns. A lighter is one of the few sure ways that you can start a fire and throw a spark. So, fire and first aid. And light. So these are a couple dollar store headlamp, flashlight. These you can get a pack of 10 for under $10. Little keychain flashlights, have an on-off dongle and a squeeze. This guy I found in my drawer, and a couple AAA batteries, not too bad. Light is obviously always important, and while these aren't crazy bright, and I'm going to put batteries in these here real quick, light is always important, whatever you're doing. If you might be in a situation, even if you're just driving at night and you need to check out your tire, whatever it is. So I'm going to throw batteries in these real quick. Alright, cheap lamps. Actually not too bad. Kind of impressed on this guy. 3 modes, LED, straps on. It could come off there too, so if you really just want to hold it. And this little guy's neat, just because it's got a prop, so this would be good if you need to actually hook it to something. If you want to set it down to shine a little bit of light, it's got a couple modes too. You can see it's got a couple different options. So, some little backup lights, not too bad. Again, light is always good to have. Maybe you're caught you know, in the backyard late and you still want to keep having fun with the kiddos, maybe you want to do some impromptu backyard camping, always good to have some light. So, covers light, let's see what's next. Alright, up next is kind of practicality here. So, rain ponchos, everyone's familiar with these. You can find them for $1. I like to pick them up randomly. They're in all my cars. They're in just everything, because you never know when you're going to be caught in the rain. Going for a hike, whatever you're going to do, ponchos are always good to have. They pack down to nothing, and they're dirt cheap. This, again, is good just to have because you never know when you're going to be caught out late or need to spend a night somewhere, or just maybe somebody in your crew and had something disgusting, or the kiddos just got whatever's going on. So this, just $1 at the dollar store. Some paracord. Now, this was $1 at the dollar store. That being said, you can go online, and this is outdoor gear. This is survival that has fishing line in it. It's got an actual wick in there for fire starting as well. Paracord is cheap. Get good paracord. That being said, if you just need something to, you know, tie up a tarp, tie something down when you're outside, not a bad idea just to have something for $1. Duct tape is good for a lot of reasons. I'm a big fan of duct tape. I think most people are these days. What is this? This is about 10 yards. Now, I'm never going to pack duct tape like this. What I would personally do, and what I usually do, if I'm going to carry a roll of duct tape, it's how I have it stored in my car, in my emergency bag. Take your duct tape, and you can use it to maybe keep something in here. A lot of people use these just as a way to hold things. Personally, now I have flat duct tape. If I really need to, I can use the inside cardboard, peel it away as tinder, but otherwise, it takes up a lot less space that way. I can cram this, I can bend this, and this thing can go anywhere I need it to and still stay on the roll, so I'm not losing any value in the tape itself. So, yeah, useful stuff. Let's see what's next. Alright, up next is, well, kind of sanity. First up, let's see here, I do have the packaging still. A bank breaking $6.50 light up Velcro watch. Knowing what time it is, even in the dark, can be incredibly useful. Whether it's an emergency situation or it's just late and you happen to be at a cookout and don't know what time it is. Yeah, having a watch that is also a little more secure and you're not worried about breaking is always nice. So, light up watch. These are a couple of those survival bracelets. I've talked about these before. I really like these. I pick them up when I can when they're cheap because they've got maybe 8 or 10 feet of paracord. They've got this little whistle built in, little compass, and this right here is actually a ferro rod and striker. I'm not going to get too much. I don't know that I want to, maybe? I don't know if I want to do it right here. Whoop, yep. Right there, here at my desk, but I like these. They have some useful tools. I mean, I don't wear one for my everyday, but they're clipped to all my hiking bags. And I've actually had the kids undo them while we're hiking before, not these ones specifically, but other ones, just to see what they can do with them because they are cheap and it's, yeah, some useful tools on there. This was a little $1 Superman towel because sometimes you don't want to just wipe yourself down with hand sanitizer, get this wet. Magic towels are great. These are some cheap little pens. Let me see if I still have the packaging. I do. This was $1 at the dollar store for 12 tiny pens. And these ones are Halloween because that's the holiday we just celebrated. I tend to pick up a bag of these every once in a while. I'm not gonna lie, I probably have some Christmas ones from last year and just other random ones. One, they fit in an Altoids tin, which I'm a big fan of if you watch my other videos. I love Altoid kits, but A tiny pen that you can really tuck anywhere is great, and having a pen is good for just your sanity, and especially if you're with kids, because the number one thing my kids and I do is, well, play games, whether it's tic-tac-toe or squares or whatever it's going to be. If my kids want to doodle, having a pen and having some paper is in fact essential to surviving, at least with my kids. Maybe I'll do a video where I kind of show off some of the other just regular stuff I carry that my kids and myself entertain ourselves with. But paper and pen, again, a good way to stay sane, a good way if you're out to take whatever notes you need, whether it's emergency, whether it's tic-tac-toe, around a late night fire, whatever you're doing. So a little bit of sanity, yes, some preparedness, some prep. I'm still disappointed about this knife. I'm gonna get a good one. So yeah, a little bit of sanity. Oh, other thing too, don't want to forget water. Always a good idea. Obviously I want to carry something full of water, but even an empty container can be super useful. Carry water or fluid if you're going to be in what could end up being a bad situation, but also just an empty container can be incredibly useful. So this guy, 50 milliliters, this was $1, and yeah, some sanity items. So as I was packing this up, I realized I can fit a bunch of stuff in this water bottle here. Makes it a lot easier to pack into the bag. So everything that I've shown you so far is in fact going in this little $1 backpack as well. Let's see here. I know this is super exciting. Again, this may be kind of a cheat, and anything that says it's a survival kit in a tin, it is not. You cannot rely on something like this to save your life any more than you can rely on a backpack full of dollar store and Walmart crap to keep you alive in an emergency situation. But that doesn't mean you can just fully discount them, because a lot of times there's something useful you can get out of them. Even the tin itself, if you needed to, you could start a little fire in this. Use it as a reflector. A lot of useful little things for something like this. Shove that in here. I'm going to zip this up. I got a little pouch on the front. There we go. I've got a little, look at that. I've even got a strap on the top where I can clip this. And you know what? Just in case, I'm gonna keep this easy and ready. Put it, there we go. Right on the outside. Ready if we need to. And there we go. So a bag like this is a lot of fun. None of this stuff is going to save your life per se. All of it is useful, but all of it is cheap. And that's really what this comes down to. Whatever kind of gear you have, and I assume everyone knows how to use a water bottle and a pen and a toothbrush, but say this little $5 survival bracelet. If you were to pick one of these up and you haven't played with it before, spend some time in the backyard playing with this. Figure out how it works, how it feels. Even just something cheesy like this survival, quote-unquote survival kit with this little saw in it. Spend some time. Learn how to use this stuff, because a tool is only as useful as the knowledge you have to use it. And whatever kind of gear you're carrying, whether it's the actual Nalgene bottles or it's a Benchmade bug out and it's amazing stream light or headlamps, whatever it is you're actually carrying doesn't really matter or mean much if you don't really know its usefulness. Also, by the way, speaking of useful, the blade is a lot more useful than I thought. I actually loosened the main screw here, and after a little bit of playing with it, I actually like this knife a lot more. For $5-6, definitely a good backup knife just to throw in a bag. So yeah, pick that up. I recommend it. It's cool for only $5. I can't think of many access lock knives out there that are actually fun to play with and this cheap. So yeah, guys, if you could, like, subscribe, share, and most importantly, leave a comment. I love talking to people about EDC, survival, and gear, and we only improve as a community, and we only improve ourselves by sharing. Leave a comment, though. Let me know what sucks, what's cool, what you might grab, just anything. I love to talk. So thank you for spending your time with me, and as always, stay safe, be prepared, and have a great day.